Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? I am so excited for this video. I have been dying to do some overhead content with my collection with Adept Cosmetics. We've got the AMYLOVES eyeshadow palette and the AMYLOVES blush palette. If you have not seen these yet, you're here for a good video because we're going to be going in depth, swatching every single shade, and you're just going to be able to see everything super up close. So let me just show you real quick. Here's my untouched version of the AMYLOVES eyeshadow palette. It is truly the cool tone palette of my dreams. I have had some questions about like some shades that look similar, so we are going to go ahead and also swatch all of the mattes side by side just so you can see the differences. And then I'll show you really quick, here's what my touch palette looks like, because I feel like the more you dig into the colors, the better you can see them. They're just so beautiful. And then I also have a blush palette, which is for the pink blush lovers. I just can't stop saying that because I feel like it's just the perfect description. We've got 2 highlighters and 2 matte blushes, so we'll also be digging into this in a little bit. So this collection launches on May 1st. I will have all of the details in the description box. Let's start swatching. I think I'm gonna do all of these shimmers first. So starting off, we have the shade Lights Up, and this is the lightest shade in the palette. It's a really beautiful soft duochrome. It has a like slightly soft pinky base and then a very subtle blue shift to it. I do use this on its own on the inner corner or underneath the brow bone, but I also like using this one as a topper. And then next we have the shade Pink, which is just a true pink shimmer. There's no sparkle, there's no shift, no multi-chromeness. It's just a true pink. That's what I wanted out of this, and it's a really beautiful metallic finish. I love using these two mixed together, and I love pink for 2 shadow looks. I will use this on the inner corner, the lash line, all over the lid, and then just use any of these mattes right here through the crease and call it a day. And then we've got the shade Floral, which is a really beautiful, more like mauve-y pink. Has a little bit more purple to it. And again, it is very metallic. It does have just a touch of sparkle to it, but I would mostly describe it as a metal. Okay, so we've got Lights Up, Pink, and Floral. You can see Floral is just a little bit more intense than Pink. Next we have the shade Glam, which is like a rosy, kind of silver, very sparkly shade. This is definitely the most sparkly when it comes to texture in the palette. I do recommend using a glitter primer with that one just because it is very sparkly. Just takes any look to that next level. And then next we have the shade Pisces, which I don't know if you can tell, it has that purple base and a super strong greeny gold shift. This one is a little bit more creamy. It's a little bit more like movable. It's not putty per se, but it does have a slightly less traditional texture to it. But look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh, okay, obsessed. And then we have the multi-chrome of the palette, which is called Lavender. It's such a beautiful, intense shadow. This has got blue and gold and lavender, of course, given the name, and pink. It's just a rainbow and a shadow. And it's so light and iridescent, but it still has a base to it for sure. And in some lights, you can see from that reflection there, it does look extremely teal. Look at that. So beautiful. And there you can see the shift of lavender. It's so beautiful. Okay, next we have the shade Indie, which is the holographic shadow. This one is so hard to capture how beautiful it looks in real life. It's got a purple base and a blue shift, and then it has that holographic like rainbow sparkle throughout it, which is really fun. I feel like I love that there's just one in here. So if you haven't tried holographic shadows yet, this is an opportunity to, you know, try one out. And then we've got Stunning, which is my perfect, most amazing silver. And then we've got Caramel, which I would describe as like a silver gold. it's definitely not a true gold shadow. Like if you look at this compared to a gold, it will look silver, but then compared to Stunning, it looks very gold. So it's kind of a little trick to the eye. I feel like this is the perfect, most like wearable, neutral silver for every day. There's Indie, Stunning, oop, went out of focus a little bit there, and Caramel. Okay, of course it's going out of focus now. And then the very last shade in the palette is Vibes, which is like a sparkly blackened silver, just super, super pretty. This is the deepest shimmer in the palette, so it's really great to add dimension. It's very, very sparkly, just like a smoky eye dream. And there is Vibes. You can see how sparkly it is. So there's all of these shimmers swatched out. So, so pretty. And then just to show you a little bit of different lighting, here's what they look like swatched out in my kitchen. Just really, really sparkly and so pretty. And then here's what they look like swatched out in the natural sunlight. Just gorgeous. I feel like you can really see the sparkles, especially you can see how beautiful the shade Indie is here, the holographic shadow. Okay, now let's go ahead and swatch out these mattes just so you guys can see the differences. So first we have the shade Mocha, which is just a really beautiful, super soft gray, and it has like the tiniest little bit of like a purple undertone to it, but it's definitely not pulling blue. It's definitely not ashy. To me, it's just like the perfect everyday matte. And then we've got 1997, which is a really beautiful, perfect everyday neutral brown. I wanted to have a really good brown that did not pull warm at all, and 1997 is definitely that. And then we've got the shade Mi Amor, which I would describe as like a gray kind of grungy periwinkle. It does have a little bit of extra something to it. It's definitely not a pastel shade. It has depth to it. So there we've got Mocha, 1997, and Mi Amor. Next, we've got the shade Billion Much, which is a little bit of a darker gray than Mocha. And then we've got Scrunchy, which is the deepest shade in the palette. And it's like this really beautiful blackened plum. So there is Billion Much and Scrunchy. So hopefully you guys can see, yes, we do have multiple neutral options, but they definitely all have their own thing going on. Okay, now let's dig into the blush palette. So we've got Athena, which to me is just my perfect cool toned icy pink highlighter, and I just love using this everywhere on the face. I feel like it's the perfect pink glow. It's definitely a very smooth highlighter. You can definitely build it up and really get like a very, very intense cheek, but you can also use it lightly, use it with more of a fluffy brush just for an all over soft glow. And then we've got Aries, which is a little bit of a deeper pink highlighter, but this one has more sparkle to it, and I love using this as a blush lighter on my skin tone. I feel like it just looks so pretty. It's like one and done, and it does have like a little extra glam to it. That's what it looks like. I'll build it up a little bit just so you can really see. Has that beautiful pink base to it. And then we've got Mishka, which to me is the perfect baby pink blush. I feel like this really, really works well on a variety of skin tones because it's still that baby pink shade, but it has a really good amount of pigmentation and brightness to it. There are face swatches of this blush palette available on the Adept website. If you haven't checked out the page, I'll definitely link it for you. But you can see what these look like applied onto multiple different skin tones, but this is such a go-to blush for me. So pretty, and it is a very buildable formula, so you can definitely get it to be very bright. And then we've got Cupid, which I like to describe as a watermelon pink because it does have like a touch of red to it. I just think it's such a flattering, like perfect for summer, vibrant blush, very pigmented. I go in with just a little bit of this on my skin tone, but I think it just adds like that perfect flush. So pretty. And again, a buildable formula. So if you need less pigment, you can start off with less, but if you need more, you can definitely build it up. There is my blush palette, kind of swatched out a little bit differently than you saw in the reveal video. But I do have a multiple looks video, which should already be live on my channel, and you can see me using all of these multiple times. So yep. All right, y'all, so that was the swatch party with my own collection. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. As always, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to leave them down below, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye!